Welcome back to my channel. It is day 13 of the April challenge. If you don't already know, I am vlogging all 30 days this month, and today we are meal prepping. This is gonna cover our next 4 days of food, so let's get into it. It's day 13, it's an active rest day, and it's a meal prep day. So let's get into it. Okay, so first we are making yogurt parfaits. This has been a staple for the past couple of weeks and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. For this one, you're going to need the Oikos 000 non-fat yogurt, some blueberries, Nature's Valley protein granola, and some containers. So this part is optional, but if you are like me and you track your calories, you are also going to need a food scale. This basically helps us portion out our food so that our macros will be on point. So for this meal prep, we are going to do 200 grams of the Oikos 000. It doesn't need to be absolutely perfect, but I like to be as precise as humanly possible so that I can get the best possible results. Now let's rinse our bloobs. Now we're gonna zero out the scale so it's back to 0 grams, and we are going to add 100 grams of blueberries. So you can definitely add your granola to the container, but I don't want mine to get soggy as it sits in the yogurt. So I am going to separate 40 grams of granola into each of these Ziploc bags. So what I'm gonna do here is put the granola on the scale, zero the scale out, and then remove 40 grams from the container. So as you can see, that first handful was 21 grams, negative 21 grams, so 21 grams have been removed. And I'm just going to do that until we get to our 40. Now we're gonna close her up. And so that I don't forget what is in this container, I am going to do 200 grams yogurt, 100 grams blueberries, and then on my Ziploc, 40 grams. All right, so I'm going to finish up these parfaits and then we are going to move on to our next prep. 4 days worth of yogurt parfaits, and the granola is done. Now we are going to cook our pasta, and this is where it gets a little bit complicated because we are going to cook this entire box of pasta at once, not separating the serving sizes. But once we're finished cooking it, we are going to add it to one single container, and we are going to divide that number by 7, which I will show you in a few seconds as soon as this pasta is done cooking. The reason we're going to do this is because if you look at the nutritional facts of this pasta, it's gonna tell you that one serving is 56 grams, but that is referring to the serving size of dry pasta, not cooked pasta. So we gotta do a little extra work to figure out how much one serving of cooked pasta equals. And then we're going to let her boil. All right, once our pasta is done, we are just gonna strain it. And like I mentioned, we are going to add it into a container while it is on the scale. You wanna make sure that the scale is zeroed out before actually adding the pasta to your container so that we can make sure that the container isn't adding to the weight. That was really hot. Okay, so all of the pasta cooked equals 933 grams. That means that one serving of pasta is equal to 133 grams. All right, let's put her to the side and move on to our next meal. I recently ordered a box from Daily Harvest just to check it out, and I got some of these pre-made like smoothie cups, and I decided that we are just gonna take some inspiration from this and we are going to make our own smoothie cups. I only have 3 of these left, so we are going to make 3 more. I have some spinach that's about to go bad, so we are going to add that. I have had this frozen fruit sitting in my freezer forever, so we are going to make use of it. And then I have 1 mango left from last week's meal prep that we are just going to add into these smoothies. All right, let's get to it. I am going to use a mason jar for these, but you can definitely use just like a normal container. I'm gonna jam just like a ton of spinach into this jar. I'm going to do, let's say 100 grams of berries. This is just a mix of raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries. We're gonna go ahead and do about 50 grams of mango. And there she is, super simple, super quick. And then as soon as I'm ready to eat this, all I have to do is toss this into the blender, add a cup of milk, a scoop of protein powder, and blend her up. All right, next up we have our tuna salad. And I don't mean like your typical tuna salad, like we're talking about a dead ass salad. So you're gonna need some romaine lettuce, mustard, relish, tuna, and some cherry tomatoes. Okay, so you're gonna get your container and we are going to add a good bit of romaine. We're gonna do 1 whole packet of this tuna. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I was inspired by Kenzie on TikTok to try this because I love tuna, I love salads, and it's low cal, so it's perfect if you're on a cut, and honestly, it just looks delicious. We're going to do about 30 grams of some cherry tomatoes. Then we are going to add 10 grams of mustard and 15 grams of sweet relish. Oh, that was a little bit too much, so I'm just gonna spoon a bit of that out. And by spoon, I mean just grab it. And honestly, let me just put it into the next container for the next salad. All right, here she is. She's gorgeous, she's beautiful, and she literally took me like 30 seconds to put together. Next up, we've got some egg salad so that we can make egg salad sandwiches this week. First things first, we are going to boil 8 eggs. If you don't know how to hard boil eggs, what you're gonna do is you are going to add your eggs to a pot, and then you're going to fill that pot with water just until the eggs are completely covered. And then you are going to put your stove on high, let it come to a boil for about 5 minutes, but it's a little bit of trial and error to get them exactly how you want them to be. But once you figure that out, I like to do it for like 5 or 6 minutes. You are going to stop boiling, leave it on, cover your pot, and let it sit for another 10 minutes. We are going to be adding onion, celery, carrots, mustard, mayonnaise, and dill to our mixture. But first, let's cook these eggs and then we will get right into it. All right, our eggs are cooked, peeled, and ready, so let's start adding it to our bowl. So we are doing the same method that we did with the pasta. We are going to put all of our ingredients into one container and then portion it out once we are actually going to eat it. So the way I'm gonna do this is I am going to create a recipe in MyFitnessPal, which I will put up on the screen for you now, which basically just entails adding the ingredients to a recipe, selecting the portion size, and then getting the results that way. So I'm gonna weigh the bowl before there is anything in it. It's 732 grams. And then once it's completely filled with all of my ingredients, I'm going to weigh it again. Whatever that equals is going to be divided by 4, which will give us our serving size. All right, so let's get our eggs in here and we are just gonna mash these girlies up. All right, once we do that, we are going to stick her underneath the scale. We're gonna do 28 grams of our vegan mayonnaise, 20 grams of our mustard. We're gonna do 30 grams of our relish, add in about 40 grams of carrots. I'm gonna do about 60 grams of celery, and then about 30 grams of onions. We're gonna mix her up. Oh, we forgot our dill. Now we're just gonna add a bit, not go too crazy with it, because I just took a bite and I really liked how it came out. Perfection. All right, so here's everything that we meal prepped today. So this is 4 of my daily meals, and then of course I'm still going to have my daily pancake and egg whites, but I'm super excited to eat these. I feel like we went a little bit out of our comfort zone for this week's meal prep. So, but anyways, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, turn the notifications on so that you don't miss the next video. I will see you tomorrow.